Hello everyone, this is British Joe. This is a re-upload of RaisorBlade's review of Guillermo Del Toro's Pinocchio because YouTube was being really stupid about it. For some convoluted reason, the copyright claim on the video meant that the video was making no money whatsoever. Meaning that if RaisorBlade won the dispute, he wouldn't make a cent anyway, making it a hollow victory over YouTube's broken DMCA system. So he decided to re-upload the video hoping it'll be easier to get around the copyright system. If you could share the video with friends and like the video, he would really appreciate it. Also support him on Patreon so you can see sneak peeks of his videos before anyone else. Thank you as always and enjoy the video.
Yes, I am well aware I mispronounced Guillermo Del Toro's name in the Disney live-action remake review. I'm a straight white male who lives in the middle of former slave state Kentucky, okay? I don't take criticism. So this has been an insane year for Pinocchio of all characters. Seriously, who asked for this many Pinocchio movies? First we got that Russian one at the beginning of this year called Pinocchio, A True Story, starring Pauly Shore, which, looking back on it now, is actually amazing. It's like if Tommy Wiseau directed an animated movie. It's so bad, you can't help but kind of love it anyway. I have not met a single person who says that they weren't at the very least entertained by that movie. Then back in September we got the live-action Disney remake of the 1940 classic on Disney+, and it was bad. Like, genuinely awful. Outside of two good performances, there was not a single thing from that movie of any worth, especially when compared to the 1940 classic. I have not met a single person who says that they were entertained by that movie, but at least it turned into a great video. Yeah, oddly enough, I'm really proud of how that video turned out, and it's one of my all-time favorite videos that I've ever made, so at least I got that from it. Also, people were telling me that Christian Rubb, the actor who played Geppetto in the 1940 movie, was a Nazi. So, yeah. Fuck that Nazi.
And the Nazis, in my view, were thugs that shook people down, did a lot of really bad things.
But they did good things too. We're gonna stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
No, I don't think I will.
Then finally, we got the one we've all been waiting for. The stop-motion animated one for Netflix by Guillermo Del Toro. See, I can say his name right. Everything about this movie was looking like it was gonna be epic. You have Del Toro directing, the guy who created Over the Garden Wall writing the script. It was gonna be stop motion animated. It looked nothing like the Disney version. It looked dark, it looked creepy. I was so excited to watch this movie. And to constantly hear Del Toro talking about how amazing and underappreciated animation is as a whole just made my excitement all the more unbearable.
Everybody that made this movie believes that animation is not a genre just for kids. Animation is art. Animation is film. Yeah. And we're trying to make you see these guys and say, they're actors. Forget that they're puppets.
The way he talked about how animation is often viewed as a kid's genre and not an art medium for all, it really is such a breath of fresh air when compared to things like the Academy, who, by the way, made the boring as fuck Luck eligible for an Oscar, but not the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie on Netflix. What a sick joke! Strange World, Lightyear, the fucking Minions, Rise of Gru, DC League of Super Pets is eligible, but Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is not? Eat a raw dick, Academy! So yeah, it's no secret that animation is madly disrespected in Hollywood. Hell, every time I review one of these kids movies, I always get at least one comment from some numbnuts going, it's just a kids film. Don't you think you're being really hard on a kids film? You're being a real jerk. You suck. So to hear an acclaimed director who's worked on so many great animated movies like Rise of the Guardians and the Tales of Arcadia series talk about animation in such a glowing light is just so relieving to hear. How he wants his animators to walk down the red carpet with him so they can get the credit they deserve, compared to shit like this?
So many kids watch these movies over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
I see some parents out there know exactly what we're talking about.
Shut your fucking mouth! Shut the fuck up, you cunt!
It's literally night and day. So Guillermo Del Toro's Pinocchio is finally here to wrap up this weird year of wooden boys, and I watched it, and it's kinda disappointing.
Hold up, my nigga, what?
Yeah, I'm sorry to report to all of you that this Pinocchio film isn't what I was hoping for. It's actually even more. Honestly, a part of me was pretty nervous since I was hyping this up quite a bit on my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, by the way. But by the end of the day, I had yet to see it. Maybe it would be the amazing movie we were all hoping for, or maybe it would turn out like Wendell and Wild, another stop-motion animated movie that was released this year with lots of fanfare and also looked like it was going to be great. It was directed by Henry Selick, the real guy who made The Nightmare Before Christmas, produced by Jordan Peele, and it was even PG-13! Like, holy shit, shut up and take my money! But in the end, it wasn't great either. It's not a bad movie, but it just has way too much going on with so many subplots that didn't get the proper development or climax they needed. Frankly, the film just felt bloated. So a part of me was a little worried that Guillermo's Pinocchio wouldn't be as good as the hype was building it up to be. And that's not me saying I wanted the movie to be bad, quite the opposite, but I just couldn't shake the feeling this movie might be too good to be true. And I'd be lying if I said this movie was perfect. For starters, the songs in this movie are actually pretty weak. Aside from the opening song and Ciao Papa, these songs are surprisingly short. I wouldn't mind if they were at least catchy or something, but they're sadly not. They're not that bad, but they do feel a touch unnecessary. Not to mention, the movie just stops being a musical in the second half. What's that about? Couldn't think of a song for the fascist Italian youth to sing? Or would that have been too weird? There's also a couple of things here and there that do get kind of swept under the rug without much explanation. Like, what happened to Candlewick after the base got bombed? We see that he escapes and is looking for Pinocchio, but then we never see him again. Ever. Like, did he go back home to his mom, or did he die from another explosion? I know the Disney version left this stuff up in the air, but this isn't the Disney version, so it's just a little odd that we just kind of forgot about Candlewick altogether. Also, how did Count Volpe find Pinocchio again after that? Last we saw him, it was implied that he was going to be killed by Tom Kenny Mussolini. He just shows up without any explanation, only to die like 2 minutes later. It's a little weird to be honest, but honestly, aside from these small things, this movie is decisively its own thing, and it's great at it. I love how this movie is definitively not like the Disney version. It is tonally, stylistically, and narratively its own beast. Despite being the story that we've known from when we were kids, the movie brilliantly finds a way to tell a story like we've never seen before. The opening is pretty reminiscent to that of the movie Up, and while I do think Up is still the better opening, this is still an effectively powerful opening. The way we see Geppetto bond with his son, how well known and respected he is from his community, and having his woodcarver abilities being loved by all. But it's World War I, sadly, and no one is safe from war, not even the children. Watching Geppetto become a sad drunk who throws away everything in his grief, oh god, what a way to start the movie! Compare this to the live-action Disney remake where some random asshole just walks into Geppetto's shop and goes, "Boy, it must really suck that your wife and son died. Hey, can I buy that Toy Story clock?" I don't have to tell you this, but the animation. Oh, God, I knew it was gonna be good, but this just might be the best looking stop-motion animated film I've ever seen. There are so many great touches, like how Pinocchio moves his body, to the way his nose grows whenever he tells a lie. The character and creature designs all stand out where you can remember them, and even the dogfish is such an amazing monster design, compared to, again, the live-action Disney remake where they turned Monstro into a kaiju for some reason. They don't even call it Monstro in this version, which I'm totally fine with since this movie wants to try and be its own thing. Speaking of which, I love all the little ways they tie this story back to the original book without being too reliant on it or even on the nose about it. Take Jiminy, for example, who isn't named Jiminy in this version. His name is Sebastian J. Cricket. That's so good. I love how the nose thing comes from a story that Geppetto told his original son Carlo before he died, so that gets transferred into Pinocchio too. I love the fact that both Carlo and Pinocchio are both voiced by the same actor. That's really clever. Without spoiling how it ends directly, Pinocchio's journey was about discovering his own identity. He was created and expected to replace someone who had died, so he believed that that was his purpose, to fill in that blank. But as he experiences the best and the worst of humanity, he finds himself and decides for himself what life is truly about, what's worth living for and what's worth dying for. I'd love to go on about how this movie is beautiful to look at, brilliantly well written, smart, dark, wholesome, but I have other things I have to get to and not much time to do them. I just wanted to get my initial thoughts out there, but rest assured, I will be coming back to this one, if only to once again revisit this transcendent animated experience. As for the Pinocchio films of 2022, if you were to ask me which one was the best, I think it's very obvious. is the Pauly Shore one. I mean, seriously, you guys, you just can't write good comedy like this anymore. You just can't.
Let's go, Tybalt! Great adventures await!
These are puppets I do not like. Shoot him!
You are so heartless, and you don't care. And I